Now on to the final match. I'm commentating solo because Mythos is taking on this guy. This is probably one of the most annoying decks to deal with in the game. Sugaha, well, he's saying now in the chat that I barely looked at before this started. He was saying that he could have just waited it out. If he had attacked a rear guard, if he had attacked the Glendios rear instead of the Vanguard, then he could have gotten the triple check and not done the risk of getting that damage. But I still say it wasn't a horrible thing that he went to try and get the crit. But now we have Mythos. He used 8th Nikki. His opponent heal triggers. I assume that was a heal trigger because I can't see the checks from here. Rides a Twilight Arrow and calls the Twilight Arrow. That's a no pass, but a draw trigger appears. And there's Dark Zodiac early on. So Masterpolygon isn't going to call other units. He doesn't want to give his opponent a chance to attack other units. Critical trigger and draw trigger. But a heal trigger makes it so that the critical doesn't mean anything. And there's the X. Which completely alters what Masterpolygon has to do. He's activating Stride, discarding a grade 1 and a grade 2. And keep in mind, if this unit hits, he gets to retire. So as a result, he's not letting it hit. First check the X, second check, and third is critical. Twilight Arrow Dragon only retires when it's boosted, so that doesn't activate. I would say something about it, but yeah, okay, Masterpolygon mentions it. It has to be boosted. So without the boost, he doesn't get that, but he still gets a 2 critical attack, which is guarded. He's not going to get to 5 damage by guarding all of his opponent's attacks. He no guards this. First check is another critical. And another draw. He just got the exact same check twice in a row. Mythos can afford to put a unit behind Twilight Arrow. And he's doing it. So 12k to the Vanguard because that is a Dragonic Overlord. So this time Robin Knight will die. There's no if, and, or but about it. Robin Knight is going to die this time. Because it's boosted. Without Robin Knight, that severely slows down Polygon's engine. He still gets the 2 retire from the first Legion, but he doesn't get anything else besides that. Cold Breath and Mobius Breath. So there's a Cold Breath Dragon in hand. That's a third block right there. But now we have Legion. Keeping the Perfect Guard in the drop zone so he can use it as an unflip later. And when the X performs Legion, he's allowed to get either the End or the X from deck and into hand. He can use it to get the one he doesn't have or the one that he wants more. He chooses to get the X. And this is 27 at the Vanguard. If Polygon no guards, we could see a restand. Dragonic Overlord's restand is completely dependent on whether or not it hits. But Master Polygon needs damage in order to get his engine going. He's guarding. $36K to the pass. First check is critical. He should all Vanguard. Second check isn't a trigger. So now he's just pushing the other damage. Getting him to 4 isn't bad. If anything, it's actually kind of a good thing, considering. Zodiac is probably going to do... No, he's not. He's just going to attack. Mythos no passing the Vanguard because he's been critting every turn. Bolt Line and Cold Death are checks. Well, he double triggered 2 times in a row. The exact same triggers. $27 to the Vanguard once again. $21. $31. 1 pass. No triggers. Mythos ends his turn. At this point, Mythos can just bully him by using the X instead of anything else. Just attacking with the X every single turn. Meanwhile, for him to guard it, he has to give up his resources. And for those wondering, the reason why he used the skill of the draw trigger to give 3k to Arrow Dragon was in case he double critted, he could give 1 to Burning Horn and 1 to Arrow, and then attack with both, forcing more guard. It's okay, Mythos, he put it back. I saw him put it back, so it's okay. He accidentally clicked his deck without holding control, or the game thought he wasn't holding control. So 2 units get locked. He's also Omega locked. Photon locks. Cold Breath to lock 1. And then another. Now this is actually a funny situation. First of all, he has to attack in order to get hand in order to guard his opponent. First check was another Spark Doll. Good thing Mythos guarded. Second check was a Pixie Powder, which means he heals. I want to say again because it bears repeating, he can't use... He can't get Omega Locks outside of Dark Zodiac with this deck build. It's not possible for him to do it. Another X added to the hand. He starts by attacking the rear. Polygon doesn't guard. And now that is a 32k attack restand. And taking this means he loses the game. Not taking it means the Omega Lock will be broken. So 21, 31, 36. That's a 1 pass. Doesn't get it. But now that means he can't get a world end and lose the game from it. Oh, he's going to continue the Omega Lock. Unfortunately, though, Mythos lost his restand. And he can't take this damage. Two Astro Reapers in Soul. Wait. Two Astro Reapers in Soul and one in the Vanguard Circle. Where's the fourth? He perfect guards the rear. He doesn't get the restand, so it's just gonna retire. Mythos decides not to use the counterblast at all. Mythos unflips. Gets a heal trigger. If the last the end is in hand, Mythos can actually win this turn. Nearly unconditionally. He's gonna re-Legion again. Oh, putting the end back in deck. Well, using it to Legion. Which means he can actually get it from the deck now to his hand. Nope, he's not doing it, which means he probably doesn't need to. Mythos doesn't get it. But now he can counterblast 1 and discard the X to retire. But he doesn't have to. The Omega Locks are broken. His opponent has no way to get them back. Because he doesn't have counterblast, so he just calls Dark Zodiac from hand. Which means the fear of Omega Lock is actually gone now. So, was that double draw trigger? Yep, that was double draw trigger. Rives his last EX, which means he's probably going to do some soul blasting. Calamity Tower Wyvern. And now he can soul blast and put the end back in deck. Mythos going for the back row, not the front. He emphasizes that he didn't retire Cold Breath yet. Retires Burnout for another Burnout. Mythos has decided to kill everything. The end, and another the end, I'm guessing. Nope, perfect guard. Alright, he returned the ends to the deck with the Burnout, so they're already in deck. He no guards. There's the end, and a critical. Gives the power to the rear, and the critical to Burnout? Okay. Makes him perfect guard a rear. Burnout now has 3 critical. Needs 10k shield just to block it. And Mythos can, should, and probably will win this in the next turn. He's not taking any chances, no passing the Vanguard, as he should. First check is Cold Breath, second is a draw trigger. $10k shield to block the rear. Another Burnout. Retiring Glendios. And by doing that, he's actually putting more cards in his deck and stopping himself from decking out. So if he can guard this, he wouldn't be able to guard the rears after. So he's kind of done. Knowing that he no guards. First check is heal. Second check is that. No trigger on the check. $31K, 2 to pass, but he can't block the rears. Critical. Couldn't guard burnout. That's the end of the game. Good game. On to the next one.